Good afternoon, Jeff with Earthworks here in Ponte Vedra. We just wrapped up this job and let's take a walk and see what we did. Initially, when I met with the clients, I call it the land of Asiatic jasmine. All these beds were covered with Asiatic jasmine here in the front, and then the large bed around the tree there, and she wanted it gone. So that was the first order of process, was getting that out of here, and then coming up with a design to make it a little bit more open and airy. She doesn't like formal hedges other than this one particular poto hedge here, but she wanted some color and she wanted some texture and just have this more of an open feel. So the plants we chose, we had some specifications that we had to deal with the HOA and the particular size, but luckily with Dennis's help, we were able to find those plants and made the HOA happy and made the client happy as well. So up here in the front, this is our main motor court area. Wanted to highlight the area with some camellias. She loves camellias. They have another property up in South Carolina, so they have camellias all up there. So wanted to bring some of that into Florida as well. So we've got camellias here in the back, and then some color popping with the salvia, and in the spring the iris will be blooming. And then on the front side, we just have some agapanthus and sunshine ligustrum and some cerise charm loropetalum up there. Around this massive oak tree here, again, we had a lot of agapanthus throughout the front here, and we transplanted some of that around, so it's gonna look a little better here in the spring when it pops back up, but wanted to utilize some of that and then just add some other color and texture to that as well. So we've got the blue days there, which is our staple here in Florida, some foxtail fern, holly, some hydrangeas, and then have a foundation of Sasanqua camellias over there in the shade to give us some color here in the fall. She wanted to highlight the entrance, so I found these cone podocarpus, and then we got the pots and we underplanted that with some Lismachia, so that kind of frames in the front door, gives it a little bit of height, and then just adds a little bit of extra to the house. Beautiful house, Mediterranean style, and those cones just kind of add to that. And we finished the other side off with a little bit of camellias and some gardenias as well, so she'll get some fragrance when she walks into the side entrance. Coming down the side of the yard, we have obviously the existing hedges here and this beautiful philodendron. Obviously wanted to leave that, but this bed here with the liriope in it was taking over, so we kind of thinned that out and then just added a row of fashion azaleas. So in springtime, she'll get some nice little color there, and they'll be manageable in their height. And we kind of did the same thing over here on the right as well. Left the existing hedge, thinned out some of the liriope there, and added a pocket or two of the fashion azaleas. One thing they wanted was to replace the gate. So we got our contractor, Nick, he came in here in a day or two and replaced this gate with a beautiful new black aluminum fence, and the clients are loving it. We have this massive oak tree here that obviously we're not touching, but we wanted to kind of make the base of it look a little bit better, so added some salvias here and a couple of japonica camellias just to give it a little color here in the fall. This whole corridor here that I'm walking through now was grass. So we took the grass out, and we had massive bird of paradise and some smaller bird of paradise here and some ferns. So we took all of that out and got these mojo pittosporum and a few ferns here just to give it a little bit of texture. And then these existing pavers, flagstones, were here. They were just buried in the grass. So Mike and Antonio did an amazing job digging these out of the grass and making this new pathway to come all the way to the backyard. One of the other requirements that the clients wanted was a little bit more privacy for the pool. Again, we had the massive bird of paradise right here. So with that gone, we wanted to create another screen. So starting here and all the way around the back side of the fence, we installed this hedge of podos. These are 30 gallons, so 5-6 feet already installed, and they're gonna let them get up to about 7 feet and keep them maintained there to give them another layer of privacy throughout the summer when they're enjoying the pool with their grandkids. As we proceed around the corner, we added a few more little things here, some fern and some beautyberry, just to soften up this corner, give a little bit of color and a little bit more privacy. And then this Tuscarora crepe myrtle here, which will grow and fill in this corner here as well. Kind of highlight off of the cassia tree there on the neighbor's property. Back here on the back, we obviously have the golf course view. They can see it from inside the house, but they wanted to kind of do something to keep the golfers from coming in the yard. So originally this was grass all the way out. So we created this bed here, broke it up. And as these plants mature and fill out, it's kind of create a barrier to keep the golfers on that side and not coming on this side. And again, I mean, we have some southern plants, the good old camellias here, a little bit of tropical with the Alpinia gingers, muhly grass for a native, and some fashion azaleas. Kind of put in a little highlight here in the center with a vitex. So in the springtime, this thing's gonna fill out and bloom nice purple blooms on it and create a little focal point. In front of me is probably the largest Hong Kong orchid tree I've ever seen. Originally I thought it was a different tree, but when it started blooming I realized what it was, and oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. There were originally a bunch of sago palms and bougainvillea and some other underbrush in here, and Mike and Antonio, they busted hump and they cleared all of this stuff out and just came back in with some, again, the muhly grass as a native, some mancho fern, so it'll just create that solid green hedge over time, and a few beauty berries just to give a little bit of color in the fall as well. As we come down the final side of the yard, this was probably the most overgrown side, if you will. The hedges, they were massive. They were original to the house when it was built. And we brought in the excavator, and in a matter of a couple hours, Mike had them ripped out of the ground, and now it's just a whole new refresh of the landscape. Inside the pool area, we had existing plants that we ripped out, and we came in with some gardenias to keep it low underneath the screen enclosure. We added this patio here for pavers so they can get a grill and sit it out here as well. And then had some foundational plantings over there. Again, some of the requirements we had to deal with HOA were new to us, but we worked with them and made all the changes necessary to satisfy their requirements and also meet the goal of the clients. So originally, last year when I met with the clients on a different project, this entire pool area was covered in Asiatic jasmine. The client, she was determined to get it out, and she came out here and dug all of the Asiatic jasmine out herself, and she has replanted this into an amazing oasis back here for the pool. So kudos to her, she did an amazing job and it looks amazing. As we make our final stretch around the side of the house, one of the other wants that the client had was to create this flagstone walkway. We have our pool equipment here, so this is where the pool company traverses to get back here, stay out of the grass, and again, this was all overgrown with azaleas and hollies and viburnums. So once those were taken out, we created this flagstone path, so it'll make it a little bit easier for them to get back here to service the pool, and for the grandkids when they're running around the yard, they have some area to run. But wanted to try to go simple on this side. Again, I mean, this is in between the neighbors, so it's not a high profile area. Add a little bit of tropical, add a little southern, and a little bit of basic, if you will. So we have the Alpinia gingers here. Over here in the corner, left the existing crepe myrtle, just added a few endless summer hydrangeas, just to give a little color. They'll fill this whole area up over time. And then as we come down the final stretch here, tried to keep it simple again. Some Formosa lavender azaleas and the dwarf Pringle podos here just to soften this side as they grow up. So I want to give Mike and Antonio a shout out. They really busted their rear ends on this job. It was a 3-week job and they got it done before Thanksgiving upon request of the homeowner. So all the credit to them in the world. Didn't have some good weather conditions either, with a hurricane coming in the middle of it. So they managed to let that not hinder them, and they really did a great job. So kudos to you. And if you have any needs for your landscape, don't hesitate to give us a call or check out our website at earthworksjacks.com.